Residential Site Valuation and Cost Approach, page 98. Example: every house on the street has an attached garage except the subject. However, there is ample room on the lot to add a garage. Market data suggests the subject is worth $15,000 less than its competing neighborhood homes, directly due to the lack of a garage. A recent estimate to add a garage to the existing house was $10,000. Therefore, the lack of a garage is curable because it will add more value than it will cost to build. If the garage could be built today in concert with the construction of the house, it would cost only $8,000. The amount of functional depreciation due to the deficiency would be $2,000. The difference between what it would cost if it were installed along with the original construction and the cost to add one after the fact. A functional depreciation for a deficiency that is incurable is handled much the same. Using the previous example, loss in value due to the lack of a garage is $15,000. The incurable functional depreciation due to the incurable deficiency would be the difference between the loss in value and the cost if installed new. Here's the formula: $15,000 loss in value minus $8,000 cost if installed new equals $7,000. Another method for calculating the loss in value to a property as a component of the analysis of a deficiency when the subject property is an income producing property relies on the income approach. Example: a 4-unit apartment building in a warm climate area has no central air conditioning. Several industry professionals agree that due to the age and design of the property, installing central air conditioning would be physically prohibitive. Market data supports that each unit rents for $50 per month less than comparable units that have central air conditioning. The appraiser determined that a GRM for the property is $125. Here's the formula: 4 times $50 equals $200 times 125 equals $25,000 loss in value. A super adequacy is an item or feature that is greater than will be recognized by the market or is greater than is necessary for operation of the property. The formula for curable functional depreciation due to a super adequacy is as follows: cost to remove the super adequate item minus salvage value plus cost to install a market acceptable or correct item equals functional depreciation due to a super adequacy. That's the formula. Incurable depreciation due to a super adequacy is most often related to the loss in income due to the super adequacy or market reaction in terms of dollars. Remember, replacement costs are typically used to eliminate the need for depreciating super adequacies and deficiencies. Page 99. Final indication of value via the cost approach. In the final step of the cost approach, various components which have been discussed in this text come together to produce a final indication of value. There is only one final element that needs to be reviewed that is typically associated with most cost analysis: the as-is value of other site improvements. If the scope of work in an assignment requires a detailed analysis, various miscellaneous site improvements might be specified with a cost new with appropriate depreciation, if any, applied. This is often the technique in keeping with the scope of work for proposed construction. However, for existing properties, most often the contributory value of other site improvements will be considered as is or in their depreciated state. In other words, considered on an as-is basis. The contributory value is already depreciated and must not be included in the cost new and subject to additional depreciation along with the structure. Included improvement elements not already considered in the cost calculations are driveways, landscaping, walkways, utility provisions. In their as-is state, a contributory value of other improvements is stated as an aggregate dollar amount as of the effective date of the appraisal. Final cost approach analysis. The cost approach is a valuation method that develops an opinion of value for a property by calculating the cost of building the structure on the land, subtracting any depreciation, and adding in the value of the site and any other miscellaneous site improvements. Standards 1 through 4 of the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice, USPAP, states, when a cost approach is necessary for credible assignment results, an appraiser must develop an opinion of site value by an appropriate appraisal method. Analyze such comparable cost data as are available to estimate the cost new of the improvements, and analyze such comparable cost data as are available to estimate the difference between cost new and the present worth of the improvements. Depreciation. The steps in the final cost approach analysis consistent with the scope of work in the assignment include definition of the basis for the cost, reproduction, replacement. A costing method is chosen and a cost new is developed. Comparative unit, quantity survey, unit in place, and index.